Hello, my name is Jakarta Johnson. I am the mother of 4 of Tony D'Angelo Wilson Sr.'s children. And yesterday is July 6th. Today is July 7th, 2014. I had allowed Tony to take my children over to his mother's house for the day. And they came back yesterday. She took them on the 5th. They came back on the 6th, and when they had all come back, I had noticed that my son, Tony D'Angelo Wilson Jr., had knots all over his head. Literally all over his head. There's upwards of 10, but yeah, there's 10 plus knots on his head. This is why none of my children will be returning to that household under any circumstances. I mean, their excuse was that Tony had thrown himself on the floor. And that would have been, acceptable if there wasn't knots on the front of his head, on the sides of his head. There's this huge cluster right there of 5. There's knots on the back. There are over 10 knots on his head. And I'm making this video so that when I take Tony to court for child support and he tries to fight for visitation, it's denied. Because this is beyond ridiculous. And as a mother, I am not going to allow my children to be in an environment where they're being beat up by the persons, because there's more than one person in that household at the time. So it's just not going to happen anymore. And this is my video proof. And to re-elaborate, it is July 7th, 2014, about 3:30 in the afternoon, and I am currently at Tony's brother, Teddy Wilson Jr.'s apartment. But they will not be going back over there, and if I have to take it to I don't see why I'd have to take it to CYF, because I could take out, no, because it wasn't Tony that did it, so I couldn't take out PFA against them. I just prevent them from seeing them anymore. But they've had the privilege of having my children for a day, because they never see my kids as it is. And then Tony will sit there and go places with his cousin, and his cousin will offer things for his other child, but none of them offer anything for any of my children. So I allowed them to go over to his mother's place for a while, and dropped off food, snacks, all of that, and he comes back with all these lumps on his head. Turn your head, Tony. Riley, get off of him. Move. You can't see it that well, but there's a lump right here. Here. There's a huge one right here. There's one right here. Go with your sister. One right here. One next to that lump right there. There's 2, actually. Not. One right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. There are 5 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, you might not have gotten it, and that is just beyond ridiculous, and it literally is never going to happen again. My children will not go over there under any circumstances. I do not care what the situation is. I will have no life before I let those people return my children in this condition, and then try to lie to me like I'm just so absent-minded that I can't put 2 and 2 together. Nobody falls on the floor and gets 10 lumps throughout their whole head. Maybe one side, because at the time I only saw this cluster. And I figured that maybe he had fallen on like a toy or something. Then I continuously looked, and I actually examined his head, and I saw all these other ones. And that's a clear sign of abuse. Nobody throws themselves on the floor once and gets not everywhere. So I guess I'm going to end this video and save it. Because there's been so many videos of like that I've made because it was going to get to the point of where I'd have to sue Tony for child support due to his violence towards me while I was pregnant with 3 of my kids, because I wasn't around him during the first one. There was a lot of videos that I made, but he had stolen my phone several times. Like, I've had so many phones stolen from him, by him, sorry. It's just ridiculous. So I'm going to send this to my email to save it, and when it gets to the point where I take him to court, I am going to put this evidence in. And I'm going to let him, I've already informed him that his family are not going to be around my kids anymore. I'm not even worried about them building a connection with them, because they're just not the type of people I want my kids to be around. I'm sorry, guys, you won't be over there anymore. So, I guess that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for viewing it, if you are indeed viewing it. I mean, if you're listening to us, then you're viewing it. But, yeah, thank you so much, and I hope that you take this video into serious consideration, because I really would, I don't ever want to see my kids in this position again. Ever. And I don't want it to escalate to something violent, because I can't allow somebody to abuse my children and not take it a step further. But thank you so much, and
thank you so much.
have a good one.
Have a good one.